Coach Fuller just mentioned the 2 kicks or field goals that Cal missed could have been a result of good pressure. Did you see that also on film?
Yeah, I think our guys do a good job of getting pressure even on kicks that we don't get blocks. Obviously that's an easy metric to look at in terms of how many blocks you have. But the pressure in itself, I do think it affects the kickers, and I think our guys did a nice job with that. And over the course of time, you could see, we have a pretty good percentage in terms of how people kick against us in terms of their makes or misses, and I think that is a reflection of the pressure.
The way Marvin was able to finish the game, what can that do for him from a confidence standpoint moving forward?
Well, I think Marvin obviously has a high expectation for himself. We have high expectations for him, and I think sometimes when that is the case, you can press a little bit and stress about whatever your statistical numbers are and everything else like that. And I think him having some success late in the game, creating 2 critical sacks, getting the ball out on one of them, hopefully that's something we can build off of. I thought his mindset and attitude yesterday in practice was excellent. His approach, I saw him just a few minutes ago today. His attitude, he had a smile on his face for the first time in a couple weeks. I'd seen him really smile and walking around the building. So hopefully that's a carryover effect that we'll see Tuesday in practice and Wednesday, because that's what led to, in my opinion, some of our guys having better days. I just thought the energy was really good last week of practice, and we need to continue that going into this week.
Coach, to see a guy like Edwin go from the impact that he had on special teams in the first 2 weeks to what he did against Cal, just what have you seen from his growth since the start of the year to what he was doing last Saturday? Yeah, Edwin's a guy that I've really seen a lot of steps in the right direction in the last 3 or 4 weeks. And it's not just the on the field stuff. It's when he's in the meeting, when being one of the first guys into the meeting room, having a great attitude when he's getting there. And I always believe that special teams is an opportunity for some of these young players to be kind of a confidence-building, stepping stone approach to how they get on the field defensively. The fact that he was able to make a couple plays on special teams is definitely confidence-inspiring, and not only for him but for the staff. And then to find ways to create more opportunities for him, and then for him to go out and play well on Saturday night, which obviously he did, is big for him individually. But it's also really important for this football team, because we need some of those young guys to come along as he's showing to do to this point.
Coach Norvell and Coach Fuller both seem to make a point to say what happened Saturday night from the defensive front didn't just happen on Saturday night, that it was the preparation to get to that point. Did you see, obviously the season started poorly for everybody, did you see that gradually coming, and how much better have you been feeling about kind of the preparation coming along?
I did see it coming last week. I saw intent in some ways leading into the game a couple weeks ago, but what I really saw last week was a change of just energy and enthusiasm and just having some fun at practice. And because the weight of a bad start weighs on everybody, and that's players, that's coaches, that's everybody. And I thought last week we went out and competed at practice at a higher level, kind of put away some of that anger or whatever the feelings were, sadness, frustration, whatever it is, and just went and had some fun competing against each other. And you did see an energy show up in practice that was a little bit different. And like I told the guys last Tuesday, if we want to continue to do everything the same way that we're doing it, we're going to get the same results. Something's got to change in terms of how we approach these practices. And they bought in, and they really worked hard last week. And we were able to have some success on Saturday night with the defensive front, and we need that to carry over again this week. Just the approach and how we attack the meeting room, how we attack the practice field, and the competitive energy that was out there all week last week.
Coach, when it comes to making like a long field goal, like 50 plus, what's the deciding factor whether of putting it on Ryan Fitzgerald or having to make a decision wanting to punt or wanting to go for it? What factors in with any of those?
Obviously those decisions, those game management decisions, those offensive decisions are all Coach Norvell's decisions to make. What he does at times, he asks for input, whether we feel like we're in range, not in range, what we may need to gain. On that one particular, I'm sure you're referencing that where we went for it on the 4th and 7, it was right on the edge of where Ryan's range is. And, so that's one of those decisions that, based on how we're playing in the game, offensively, defensively, how Ryan's kicking, like those are the calculated risks that you take. And, it was right there on the edge, and Coach probably could have went either way with it, but I know he, the way he decided to go with it, that was the best decision at the time. Sometimes those things work out and sometimes they don't. But, I do think it was the best decision, especially the way we're playing on defense.
Coach, in the third quarter, did you guys try a fake punt return, and what were the instructions on that play to Lewin McCoy?
No.
Was this one of Byron Turner's better efforts? And then a second question I wanted to ask was on Pat and his effort, just like your pure like hustle and energy. What kind of shifted for him in that regard this week?
Well, listen, I'm not going to try to be over analytical and be a psychologist, but I think, especially guys who come back with some experience and have all these hopes and dreams of what not only this year is going to look like, but what the future is going to look like. When it doesn't start that way, and we've watched it with other guys in the past, they carry a lot of pressure, whether it's self-imposed, whether it's from family members, whether it's from whatever. There's a lot of noise around them. And I felt like Pat was carrying around a lot of weight on his shoulders the first couple weeks, with whatever in his mind, how he expected everything to play out or how he had hoped it would play out. And, obviously it was frustrating for him to a certain degree. And I think when I was referencing guys having a little bit more fun in practice, I think one of the things that you saw from him last week was just kind of putting some of that baggage down and not trying to carry it around all the time and just go play and let the results play out based on how hard you play, the energy, the effort, the tenacity that you decide to play the game with. You're in control of that. You can't control anything else. You can't control anybody else on the field. You can't control your opponent, but you can control the effort and the energy that you play with. And I think he bought into that idea last week and said, I'm just going to go out there and do the very, very best that I can possibly do. And, hopefully that's going to be the spark maybe to somebody else. And it showed up for him in practice, and then obviously translated for him playing a pretty good game the other day. In terms of your question about Byron, I did think it was one of the better games that he played. I think he brings us an energy off the sideline and does a good job in the role that he's playing right now. And I know he wants to increase that role as he goes, and we'll continue to evaluate that all going forward.
What are the lessons you're hoping the Edge group learned from the Georgia Tech performance and the BC performance against scrambling athletic quarterbacks that they can apply to SMU and Jennings?
I think there is some carryover. I wouldn't have really thought leaving either Georgia Tech or Boston College that the quarterback scramble was really the thing that hurt us bad. I mean, we didn't do a good job against the run, and that to me is where we've been able to make the improvement the last couple weeks defensively. Just better playing the design run, whether it's the design quarterback run, which we saw early in the year, but then some of just the true run game that we've been seeing the last couple weeks. We're playing it better. We're playing it more fundamentally sound. We're playing it more physical, and that translates into more pass rushing opportunities. We didn't really get a lot of those pass rushing opportunities the first couple of weeks because we didn't do a good enough job against the run. And I do think that's one thing that our guys really understand, is that you have to earn the right to put yourself in those pass rushing situations. And I thought on Saturday night we earned the right to be in some more of those pass rushing situations. And it translated with the statistical success we were able to have up front.
I think he caught two of them. Did you like the way LaWayne Witten approached the punt return job and looking a little more comfortable and confident catching the ball? And was there one in particular, not the one that went 69 yards, but another one where maybe you'd like him to run up and go get that thing?
Yeah, I thought, on the first couple he did a good job, confident and caught it. I thought we could have attacked the one that hit the ground a little bit more. But some of that is going to come with confidence, but it's also going to come with experience. I think the hardest thing for a punt returner to do is to run up towards everybody who's covering down on you, including your teammates who are blocking you. When there's less traffic in front of you, obviously that's a lot easier of a catch situation for Luane. But I thought for every game that he's going to be out there, he's going to continue to get better at it. We had the one that went 69 yards, that had nothing to do with Luane. He was doing exactly what we were coaching him to do, and I just look forward to him continuing to grow and get better as we go.
Anything else from JP? Okay. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thank you.